Good morning, my friends. Welcome back to my channel. It's Belinda here from Visualized NZ. You might be able to hear me rubbing my hands together. My hands are just a little bit cold. It's warm in the room, but I was just tapping away at my computer a few moments ago, and so yeah, my hands are just a bit cold. So warming them up a little bit before we jump into today's project. So today I am not doing a Roxy's Weekly Challenge project. Oh no, what's the world coming to? Well, the Roxy's Weekly Challenge for this week is using the mark making that we did in last week's project. I may incorporate, excuse me, may incorporate some of this into today's project, but probably not. I just really wanted to do this other project, and I thought, well, I'm going to be using this in lots of different ways in different videos, so I feel like it will be covered over time rather than doing a specific project with it. Rachel was using bits of it to make masterboards and then making, I think she made tags. Did she make tags? I can't remember. She made ephemera, let's just say that, and then put some additional bits of mark making on top of that. So I do have it to hand if I need it. But this is a project I saw Margaret do over on SevenPlaza. The idea comes from Crafty by Toni. So I'll link those two ladies in the description box below. And it's making your own decorative paper strips. And I was quite taken with the project. I thought it looks fairly simple. It looks fun. Endlessly customizable. Like you can do with it what you like, and eminently usable. So whether it's as a decoration on a tag or a journal card or what have you, or edging down the page, or on top of a belly band, or there's just lots of ways you can use them once you've got them. So for today, paper strips, offcuts are brilliant. So I have a couple of offcuts here. This is coffee dyed cardstock, so it's quite thick, and I've been avoiding using it because it's quite thick, but I thought for this project I think it will be okay. This is coffee dyed thick paper. It's not cardstock, but it's thick paper. And then the rest of the pieces with these kind of circles you can see here are a piece of coffee dyed paper that I just tore into strips for this project. I didn't tear the whole thing, because I'm unlikely to get all these done. But I didn't have lots of long strips left. I've been using them up lately, and so I had to create some more, and that's okay. So, a few different lengths here and there. The widths I just kind of tore where I saw fit, so these newly torn ones are relatively the same width, but then I guess these are all about the same width as well. So paper strips, stamps, grab out all your stamps because we're going to be stamping and playing with them. And thin washi tapes, those ones that sometimes you struggle to use because it's like they're so narrow. How do you use them? I don't have a lot of narrow ones. These three are on the narrow side as well. So these ones are new ones, and these ones are all various ages. That one's a newer one, but still a few years old. And then I've got a couple of, or three wider, sort of typical width ones here that we can cut down. And so just narrow washi tape. I just grabbed what I had. Hopefully the colours work for me. We shall see. We're stamping, so stamp pad, whatever colour you like. A range of colours. I might grab more colours out, but I'm starting with black. And some sort of sanding tool. I'm not sure that I'm going to actually do this part of the project. People who've done it say that it's great. Sanding your washi tape. I'm not 100% convinced, but I am going to give it a go on at least one to see whether I can be faffed or not. I typically don't like sanding things because I hate the dust and the feel of it and the sound. Yeah, just not typically me unless I have to. But I thought, in all fairness, I will give it a go and see, see what I think, whether it's worth me doing. Right, so I thought I'd start with a word one. What do we want? Dreams, happiness, sweetheart. I don't know if I've used the sweetheart together. I think I'm going to go sweetheart actually, primarily because I don't know that I've actually used it before. Oops, no. Oops, sorry about that. I just accidentally flicked my stack of stamps and it started heading over the edge of the desk, and it was like, no, I want to use those, and if they fall off the desk, I'm not going to be using them in this video. Right, now Margaret did say that it was easier, she found it easier to put the tape on first and then do the stamping, and I'm actually thinking that's a pretty darn good idea. We might get 3 on that, so I'm just going to start with this smaller bit here. And I do have this washi tape that's got love hearts on it. It's quite old. I thought it was not going to work. I thought it was just going to peel off and go all stupid, but it didn't. So, oops, there's bits of lint stuck in it. We don't want those. I don't know whether it's too wide for this project or, yeah, because I haven't got any super narrow ones. I think you can get narrower washies than this, but it's a case of using what you've got, so just find a way to make it work. So there's not going to be many love hearts. Trim off the end there, and it's a bit grubby, but that I will be able to get that off. I won't bother worrying about it right now, but it will come off. I just need to give it a little bit of attention to do so. So those black marks will be removed. So I'm just taking care to try and line it up right against the edge of the paper. Although another way to do it would be to overlap it over the edge of the paper and then either fold it around and just stick it on the back, or trim it along the top and bottom if you wanted to make your washi tape narrower than what it is. Right, I could have just wrapped those bits around actually, thinking, I was looking for the other bit, it's stuck to my finger. In fact, do I want to? No, I don't think I'm going to sand this one. I was thinking if I sand it, it might take off that grubbiness anyway. But this is a very pale washi, and I don't know that it's going to particularly show up, so I'm not going to bother. Now I'm looking at the space I've got left and going, I haven't got room for my word. My washi is too wide for my paper strip. So options, go for a smaller word. What about this? One of these would work. What do we want? Right where I want to be, evidence of a good time, or memories to last a lifetime. They're all quite long, which is fine. Or quality time together, because they will all fit really nicely. Maybe quality time together, just because I feel the writing is a little bit clearer. Right, trying not to cause avalanches here, so we'll put sweetheart aside for now. So maybe I need to actually cut down this narrow washi. It is a centimetre. Yeah, so I believe you can get narrower ones than that, and I don't have any. So let's switch up what I was planning for the first one. Paper's curly, so I want to get the stamp down without kind of smudging it. Lovely. Now I can't remember everything that Margarethe did on her strips, and I haven't watched Toni's video yet. I haven't had time, but I will be watching it. So I can't quite remember everything that she did to make up the strip. So I'm just gonna, you know, make it up as I go along. No, I'm not gonna stamp off the end. I will find something else to go on the end there. Needs to be small. If we've got a little love heart or something, or there's a wee asterisk. Oh, no, there is a wee heart. Okay, let's grab out the wee heart out of the set. Oops, I didn't clean that very well. Still got bits of black ink on it. Right, that'll do. Take care of it later, because I don't have a wet wipe out at the moment. So I've got room to fit in a couple of love hearts at the end there, and then maybe one in between the words. Now, of course, if you sort of think about it a bit more, you can plan it out, and I could have put one heart at the beginning and the end, and it would have, you know, been all balanced. But I'm just going to wing it, and what works out, you know, however it turns out will be just fine. Okay, that one's very simple. Do I want to do anything else? I think I want to distress, you know, give it a bit more age. So very simple, and that's part of the beauty though, is that they can be as simple or as elaborate as you like. Just have fun making them, and at the end of the day, fun using them too. So you can just cut them up further into little pieces and use just little snippets of them, or you can use them in entirety on your projects. Just another fun little bit to have. But yeah, I'm thinking maybe I need to cut down my small washies as well, which is not something I had anticipated would be necessary. The paper's a bit soft, so struggling a little bit to get it to hold it and ink it there. And then that dirty mark, I promise, will come off. And if not, like, it's just an extra little bit of grunge, isn't it? I think that's cute. Very simple, but cute. Okay, let's grab out this one. Now, do I want to use the darker side? It's quite grungy, isn't it? Which could be fun. So, if we put our word in here, I'm just going to do a little cheat, because I think this is wider. We might just fit our word on. I think I'm going to go with this black and white graphic here for this, and maybe just lie it over the edge slightly, just to give our word a bit more room to breathe. So I'm going down a very romantic vibe right now. The other one had love hearts on it. This has got the word sweetheart. So, of course, if you're lying it over the edge, it's a little bit tougher to get it straight, because you're not lining up on the edge, but that's okay. I love this tape. It's so cool. This was sent to me in Happy Mail, which is just wonderful. I've got some of the best subbies around, you know. Very generous people. Right. No, not too bad on the straightness there. I am just going to fold that over. I might actually give it a little bit of glue stick because it's only a little bit that's hanging over. So we might as well just give it a little bit of insurance that it's going to stay put. I could trim it off. I just don't want to get my scissors all sticky with the residue from the tape. And this side. Yep, even less of overhang on this side. So I don't think it would stay if it wasn't for the glue stick. So I do have some updates on various health things with the mums, my mum and my mother-in-law. My mum's doing really well. I spoke with her yesterday because I haven't seen her for at least a week and a half since I last saw her, and she sounded really bright and strong, and she sounded happier than what she's been for quite a bit. And she invited me out for morning tea. She's going out for a morning tea on Wednesday. I'm recording this on Tuesday. So tomorrow for me, and probably yesterday for you guys. And because I haven't seen her for a while, and I wouldn't get in to see her this Friday because it's a public holiday, I ummed and ahed, and then I talked about it with my hubby, and then I messaged her back and says, yes please, I would like to come on Wednesday. So she's shouting me out morning tea. I think it's a ladies group that she's going out with, so I think she just really wants to introduce me to the other bunch of ladies, which is really sweet. And she's driving again, so she will be taking me, I won't be taking her. So that's really encouraging that she's back driving, so she's doing well. So very happy to give that update. Right, I'm definitely going to stamp black on this because I don't think a colour will show up enough because it's quite a dark coffee dye, very grungy. Yeah, so that's my mum, doing well and looking forward to seeing her tomorrow, and being treated out to morning tea is lovely. What's not to like about that? Now, I don't know if I can fit the 3 of these on here or not. I'm going to put them quite close together. So that's my mum, and hubby's mum, my mother-in-law, was doing pretty well until, well, we thought she was doing pretty well, but I think she's been going downhill for several days at least. Because we got a phone call from my father-in-law last night to let us know that she was in hospital. So she went to the doctor yesterday morning, and they put her straight into the wee local hospital that's in their village. She was dehydrated, struggling to get enough nutrition in, and couldn't stand upright without feeling like she was going to fall over. So not doing so well. And in her words, my hubby rang her last night in hospital and talked to her. She just wanted to curl up yesterday morning and die, and that is totally foreign thing to come out of her mouth. Like, she's normally so positive and upbeat and puts a positive spin on everything. So hubby was quite emotional after that. Like, for her to say that she just felt like dying was not great. So she was in hospital, put into hospital yesterday morning, I think, or early afternoon, I'm not sure which. What else do I want to do this? I feel like I want to do some red, because we've got Sweetheart, we've got black. So that was fine. He rang and talked to her in the little hospital. It's called Waikari Hospital. So he did that. I'm going to use the love heart again wherever it's gone. Here it is. I think I'm going to grab out a second block just so I've got a bit more to work with. So he talked to her, and then that was fine. She had some IV fluids and was feeling a bit brighter and a bit better, and sort of her humour was starting to return. And then we got another phone call about an hour after that from his dad again to say that she had been taken by ambulance through to the city public hospital because her blood pressure and blood count were too low. So that's not great. It means she probably will get a blood transfusion, I imagine, is what will happen. So I haven't heard anything yet today. But yeah, so while things had been going well, they started being not so great. And she's due for her next round of chemo next week. And because of her blood count being low, she might not be allowed to do it next week. So it might be dragged out. Do I want another one? Yeah, I do. Might be dragged out, you know, another few weeks. We just don't know at this point, which is not great, because then we're, you know, that's going to be most of July that she's going to be suffering the side effects of chemo and everything. So anyway, that's the update. It's not great news, but she's in the right place to get sorted, to feel better. Do I want to do it? I don't know if I want to. So for the sanding, I've just got an emery board. It's well used. It's got coffee drips and stuff on it. You know, everything's got coffee drips on it around here. So I don't actually know how effective it's going to be, because it's so well used. But let's give it a go. I've got to just take the plunge, don't I? And see if it's gonna do anything in particular. This might not be the right washi to do it on either. Well, it is taking the shine off the black. I can tell that much. There's not a lot of obvious scratches, I would have to say, but that might be down to my emery board. Probably needed to grab out a fresh one. And I haven't gone super heavy, but now I'm wondering what will happen if I add some ink to it. So I'm not going to like cover the whole thing. What gets ink on it will get ink on it, and what doesn't won't. You know, that's pretty obvious really, isn't it, a thing to say? But I'm not trying to cover the whole thing. I'm just trying to get the edge, and then whatever past the edge gets ink on, I'm thinking might pick up those scratches from the sanding. And it may be that I haven't gone hard enough, but also the washi tape, being a lot of it's white, may not particularly show up that great anyway. But I think it's really cool. Sanding or no sanding, I think overall, I think that looks really fun. So we've done two. Look at us go. Shall we do a third? Let's grab one of these new strips. This one's a little bit thinner, so we won't use the same word. Do we want some images instead on this one? I do have these wonderful bee, but they might be a bit big. Could do this wee fellow. He would fit. The other bees would fit, but I wouldn't have any room for the washi tape. So let's grab out this wee bee, and he'll have to be straight. Like, we'll have to put him straight on the thing. Still doesn't leave us a lot of room for the washi. And I'm thinking a floral to go with the bee, like the bees flying in amongst the flower garden. Let's where's the end of the washi tape? That's always the first trick, isn't it? Finding the end. And I'm going to do the same thing I did on the other one. I'm going to wrap it around the edges. This one is actually narrower. No, it's not. Not at all narrower. I just seem to think it was. Right, maybe if we line this up on my mat, I can get it straight-ish. Kind of, maybe. It's worth a go. So I'm just using a very, very thin line. And now I'm like, but then I'm wasting a lot of tape. So do I want to trim it off and use it on the other side? And I think I'm going to, because I don't want to waste that much tape. Because there's as much or more hanging over than what I put along the edge of the paper. So just take this as different ways that you can do things. You're very welcome. It's good to try different ways and see what you prefer, but I don't like wasting my supplies. Right. I like to get the most bang out of things. Oh, that's cute. I like that really thin line. And I'm glad I cut off the tape and used it along there, because it just makes sense. I haven't got a limitless supply of washi. Could use faux washi as well. Maybe I should grab out some of my faux washi and give that a whirl. Right. Oh, I've got a smudgy, grubby mark on my block. Never mind, it won't affect it. So a bee only just fits. What colour bee do I want? Do I want black? Do I want yellow? Actually, do I want to be tricky? Just hunting for my yellow ink pad. I know you're here somewhere. There it is. Okay, so chrome yellow in my archival. Going to ink it up. I'm going to, do I want something in between them? Maybe. Let's space them out a little bit. Put a leaf or a flower or something, or a word. I don't often turn away a, whoops, I didn't stamp that one very well, an opportunity to play with my stamps, because stamping is fun. And there's just so many different ways you can use them to create different effects and looks, and they're just fun. Just fun, my friends. Okay, so we've got yellow bees. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to over stamp with black. And this is something I have done a few times lately, but not on video. I thought I'd give it a go for something I was doing, and it was like, oh, I actually really like that. Now, the issue here is to not get it completely lined up. Okay, so whereas normally if you're trying to match up a stamp, you'd want it exactly. This time we want it very, very close, but the goal is not to line it up perfectly, because we want to see the yellow as well. And so we end up with kind of like a yellow shadow almost. That one's a little bit too lined up, but that's okay. It's just a slightly different look where you get it lined up, and if it's wildly off, that doesn't matter either. It's just, you know, a deeper shadow. And I really love the effect of the double stamping. I haven't tried it with other colours, but I've just been doing it with bees in particular. Since I got this new bee stamp set, actually. So I don't know if you can tell the effect of that double stamping. Hopefully it's in focus. I'm sorry, I can't tell if it's focused or not. But hopefully you can see that yellow under the black. I love it. I think it's really cool. So there is some words. There's be happy. No, it's too wide. I didn't leave a big enough gap. Okay. Maybe a little flower or something. Do I have anything out? Sorry, I know I'm reaching under the camera here. I don't know that I grabbed out a little flower. Or maybe like something totally different, like a little postmark or something. That could be cute. Doesn't need to make sense. Just needs to look fun, be cute, or pretty, or something. Like this one from Zurich. I've left enough room for that. Let's go with that. And what colour do we want? Oh, trying to get it off the thing there. What colour? I don't want it to be dominant. I want it to be more sort of in the background. So do we want to go, ooh, grey? Why not grey? If I can find it. Oh, come on, grey, where are you? I'll grab out the coffee in case I can't find the grey. Ah, here it is. Found it. My drawer used to be really organised with my inks and everything, and it's just become a dumping ground for stuff, for other stuff related, but doesn't stack or sit nicely, and it's just now become a bit of a nightmare trying to find my ink pads because they're upside down, they're sideways, and it's just, I need to reorganize it and find a different way for those other bits and pieces that I need at hand and relate to the stamp pads and everything, but are just creating a bit of a nightmare. Bit of an unworkable situation because, you know, I spend 5 minutes searching for the right ink colour with you guys, and it's like, that's not very much fun for anyone. Okay, I think I do need to grab out a wet wipe because my poor bee's looking a bit grubby. So let's just grab out one. And give him a clean up. He's been flying through the soot. And he needs to breathe. Breathe, little bee. Breathe. Don't choke on the black. Right, that's better. And while we're at it, we'll just give this little postmark stamp a clean as well. Although you can barely tell that it had anything on it. I think that's super cute. Just really simple. I mean, these aren't taking very long. Again, I'm struggling with the, do I sand the washi tape? It might show up more on this, so I'm going to give it another go. I'm going to, you know, give it a fair test. Well, kind of fair test. And I'm going to bite the bullet. As much as I love it as it is, I'm going to do it. Do I want the rough side or the less rough side? Probably the rougher side would kind of make it go faster, wouldn't it? So it's definitely taking kind of the newness of the washi tape off. It's kind of grunging it up a little bit. Can you see the difference? So I've just sanded this edge one. Sorry about the shadow, but this edge I've done, this one I haven't. Can you see a difference? Just, I can. it's duller, it's kind of more sinking into the background. And actually it does have the effect of making it look more part of the strip rather than sitting on top, which is not something I had considered to be one of the effects of sanding it. Like I didn't think that it would do that. Yeah, it's definitely making it look more like part of the strip rather than something that's just stuck on top. And it's made it not so shiny as well. So I'm kind of swinging around to the sanding camp. I might be convinced that, you know, it might be worthwhile. But I encourage you, you know, if you're not sure about the sanding, give it a go and make your own mind up, because, you know, I don't think I'll sand everything, but I am swinging more to the sanding camp than I was before. So interesting. Right, how are we going on time? We've still got some time. Let's do another one. So we've done a bee, because I thought that might be handy for when I do my bee journal, whenever that might be. So I don't think I'll do another bee, because I'd have to use the same bee. So just pop that away out of my road in the drawer that's collecting random bits. What would we like to do now? I've got a sewing set here, and I thought Margaret did a sewing strip. Most of these are too big, but I've got a closed safety pin and an open safety pin, and those might be quite fun if we like alternated. And that could be fun. So let's grab out those two. Put my wee postmark over there on its packet. Where did my other block go? Here it is. So one on each block. So I've used the closed one, but I haven't used the open one. Right, washi tape. What washi tape do we want to put with it? I've got silver seashells, probably not really sewing related. We've got florals. I mean, florals go with anything. I don't have a sewing themed journal in mind. I just thought it would be cute. Do we want to go graphic? That could be fun. How about we do this, because then I can try the other method of cutting the tape in half. So just going to pop it down on my mat. Going to stick it down straight. And so it is 1.5 centimeters wide, this tape. So I kind of want to go in between. Oh, I've made it. It's too long for me to actually line up my ruler, so I'm just going to butt the end up against one of the lines. Hopefully I'm in frame. Yes, I am. And hope that works. Also using the pattern on the washi tape to guide me as well. It does not look straight. Why does that not look straight? It's straight enough on the bottom, so that's okay. Why is that pattern not looking straight? Maybe this pattern's not straight. Excuse me if my head gets in the frame, because I'm trying to look over top of the ruler to see. Right, I'm just going to say that it's straight, and however it turns out, I'm sure it will be fine. So I'm just going to, with my craft knife, run through the middle of that, and it's not quite in the middle, which is fine. Doesn't really matter, but it's nicely, you know, sliced. Oops, Now, hopefully it's still sticky enough after being stuck to my mat. But if I find it lifting, I will just come in with some glue stick and put it down, or some tacky glue, just depending whether it's the whole thing comes off or if just little patches of it rise up. I'll just deal with those off camera if I need to. So that's our third way of dealing with getting washi tape that's narrow enough for your, oh come on, narrow enough for your paper strips. So do what you need to, do what works for you. So this bottom bit is a bit wider than the top bit, and I quite like that too. I like that it's slightly different, it gives a different effect as well. It's like it's visibly different, you can tell by the eye, whereas on that other one that I cut in half, the difference was so minimal that you can't really tell one's thicker than the other. Right, I like the heavier one piece at the bottom. That kind of just makes sense to me visually. Now, am I going to sand it? Should we give it one more go at the sanding? I'm going to do it before I stamp this time. So, I'm going to put it on my book. And it is spreading the black out. The black ink on the pattern is kind of smudging it, which is actually just giving it a more grungy look. And I guess that's the purpose of the sanding. It's just to give it a more aged look, that it's not so new looking. And this isn't new tape, this is old tape. But can you see that difference between the sanded and the unsanded? One's definitely looking more distressed, funnily enough. Oops, I've spread it onto the paper. That's okay, I guess. Again, it's just messing up the whole thing in a good way. Not in a, oops, oh no, I've ruined it way. No, not that way. Right, so I'm getting the ink, you know, the ends are dirtied up with what it takes off. So I think that emery board is about done really. I need to throw it out and just grab out a fresh one anyway, because I do use this on my fingernails as well as projects. You know, it's like, oh, I've got a little nick out of my finger because I got too close with my fussy cutting scissors. I won't grab the emery board, give it a quick, and then I'm off crafting again. No time to go to the bathroom or the bedroom or something and take care of it. No. Right. So safety pins. Here, our two types. What colour ink do we want? Do we just want black? Because we have a lot of black already. We could do grey, because safety pins, you know, typically would be grey or gold. So we could do yellow. I'm actually wondering about ground espresso distress ink, which, you know, distress inks aren't fantastic for stamping with, but it doesn't mean that you can't stamp with them. They just, you know, can be a little bit of a trickier. Now, is this one going to fit now? No, it's not going to fit. So it looks like we're just going with the straight one, and that's okay. We can just go with the straight one. Do we want to pair it with words or something? What have we got that we could put with it? Or we've got this little round, like the top of a reel of cotton. That's a little bit too big. Oh, there's a little, what does it say? The thread something. So that's, again, one off a cotton reel, but it's just smaller. That one would work. Do we want that one? How would that look if we kind of did a safety pin, then that one? we're tricky, we could stamp them both together. Yeah, let's do that. And I'm just going to do the same colour for both of them. And we're going to try the ground espresso. Cute. Gone quiet, haven't I? I'm just stamping. Just stamping. So yes, it's turned into quite a busy week with going and spending a day out tomorrow, but I really do need to see my mum since it's been, you know, a good week and a half or so. And then Thursday I've got a lunch for the food bank to go and discuss some things. And then Friday is public holiday, so hubby will be home. Now I'm just going to do the end here with the safety pin, just so it goes off the end there. And this afternoon I've got to go out for the food rescue pickup, so that will, you know, be about an hour, not too long. So yeah, it's turned into a busy week, and I've hadn't anticipated the being out all day tomorrow. So suddenly I'm like, oh, I've got to get all my videos done and taken care of, mostly today. I can do one on Thursday or two on Thursday, but really I want to try and get as many as I can done today. Oh, I'm loving these. These are so fun, people. So fun. How are we doing time-wise? We got time for another one? I think we do. Oh, right, I'll show them again at the end. I'm just admiring the handiwork, you know. Look, my friends, if you can't admire your own handiwork and take pleasure in it and just look back and go, you know, with that satisfaction of like, then, you know, why do it? It's good to take a moment. Right. We could do condemned. That could be quite fun. Imagine doing, actually, I don't think I've ever seen anyone do like an outlaw journal. No, like a rogue's journal or a something like that. That could be quite fun. That stamp could be quite handy. I'm thinking, do we want to do numbers or something like that? Could be quite fun. They're a little bit small, so we could one of these, maybe this size. I think by the time we've got our tape on, those ones might be the right size. I'm sorry, you probably, all you're seeing would probably be the glare of the packaging, although this isn't much better really. Okay, so washi tape. Got this green leafy one, which is really pretty. This is a newer one. Let's cut this one down as well. So this, I assume, is 1.5 centimeters wide. Yep, it looks to be. I'm going to be a bit tricky this time, and I'm going to try and put it halfway between so I can rule on a line. Does that sound tricky? I think it sounds a bit tricky. Right, get the length that we need. So there should be plenty. And now I should be able to line up my ruler on the line and get it pretty close to being in half. Even halves. There we go. Slice and dice. Without the dicing. There we go. Oops, I've bent over the corner. That's not helpful. Oh well, I think it's long enough that we can just hang that bit over and chop it off anyway. Oops. Can't even keep hold of it. lining it up on that top edge. And I think the hardest part is actually peeling it back up off the mat. That's why I recommend making it slightly longer than what you need if you do that method, just so you can have a little bit to pull up off the mat, and if it gets a bit bent or damaged or whatever, then you haven't gone into the bit that's going to be on your strip. Gives you a little bit of finger holding room. Right, here's the other piece gone. There it is. Right, am I distressing this one? Oh yeah, come on, let's do it. Let's just do it. I'm actually wondering, do I want to just kind of break this so we're getting a fresh part? Why not? If I'm going to throw it out, why not? Oops, it does give it not that nice rounded edge though. So maybe we'll just take off that jaggy bit. Just to make it a bit nicer to use. Yep, people, we're not watching paint dry, we're here to watch sanding. It's part of painting that I absolutely hate. I hate sanding. I like painting, like, you know, house painting, that type of painting. I like painting, but I don't like sanding. It's just the worst possible job in my book. Severely dislike doing sanding. It's necessary, yes, but I just don't like it. Okay, so again, it's moved around the colour and kind of smudged it, but definitely distressed it. Now, I didn't ink the other one. I've only inked one so far, but let's do a bit of ink on this one. And this time I am brushing it over top, just to see what the difference is. Okay, so hold it up. So they're both sanded. Both sides are sanded. One side's inked, one's not. I haven't synced it super heavy, so it might not be like super obvious. So I'm just going over the same side that I've already inked a little bit more, just to try and give you a better, just show you the variety of options and ways you can customize it. So now I'm just going to ink the other side because I don't want them mismatched. You can use different tapes on bottom and top. I think Margarethe did some like that, but I've got, you know, few tapes, few narrow tapes, although, you know, I cut this tape down. I've got much more of this width tape, but I just grabbed out a small selection. Right. Oh, it's getting quite cold in here. The fire needs a bit of attention, methinks, but I will do that in a moment after the video. Right, so numbers. Just check the size. Oh, I might have to go for the smaller size, you know. Actually thinking, what if I just line them all up on my, I've got this long block here, so I'm going to line it up on my mat and kind of line up the, now I need to start at this end, don't I? Yes, I do, so that they're in the right order. Oh, that's the wrong one. The wrong one. It was a 1, but it was the wrong one. wrong size. I'm just gonna, hopefully they're evenly-ish spaced, but I don't think we need to get too carried away about making them too precise. How many numbers can we fit on? We're up to 6, and we started at 0, so that's 7 numbers so far. Oops, I don't think I'm getting the 6 upright, but there we go. 7, so that's 8 numbers so far. 8, can we get the 9 on? Ooh. Oh, if I shuffled them I would, but I might have to shuffle them. Just spend a moment with me, or 2. I've never done this before, and so it was just like, oh, that sounds like fun. Wonder what it will look like. So we shall find out very soon. We should be thinking about what colour we want to use. Yep, plenty of room. Get 10 numbers in there. Hopefully they look not too bad straight-wise. So we've got green washi. We could go coffee or sepia, or green or black, or we could go the ground espresso again. I'm actually liking the thought of the ground espresso. Let's do it. These are distressed numbers. They're not perfectly formed. There's little imperfections in them by design. So I think if they don't stamp perfectly, I think it will just work really well. Yeah, so we've got ones that aren't stamping properly, and that is actually quite fun. I don't mind that at all. And I think that's because it's either a thinner stamp, like they're not all created exactly the same. So there's some thicker stamps and there's some thinner stamps, which is part of the problem of stamping them like this, that the ones that are slightly thinner, like I can tell the 8 is thinner, aren't going to stamp properly, which is fine. What I can do is, if I wanted to, is kind of slide it off and then kind of press it in from the bottom, but you do risk smudging everything, like I've double stamped because it moved when I picked it up. But again, I'm not worried about it being perfect, so that's absolutely fine. We've got room for maybe just the 0 at the end, so let's just add that in there. Finish on a 0. So I'm not unhappy with the quality of stamping. I think it's just a bit of fun. It's certainly adding to that age distressed look. I'm also wondering about like a little label or maybe a postmark. Kind of do some layering up. Maybe this one. This one's got a fun, funky little edge on it where it's been damaged. The graphic that it's taken from, not the stamp damage. The stamp is deliberately shaped to look like it's damaged. Does that make sense? I hope I'm making sense. It's just fun. So maybe coffee. So put a few different values of brown, or a couple anyway. Where's my stamp sheet? Goes, because I might be stamping off the edge like here. Oh, that's fun. That's so fun. Because we sanded, another benefit of sanding the washi tape is that ink is going to sink in a little bit more than it would otherwise. You know, it would tend to sit on top more if you don't sand it, but because we sanded it, I think it's just going to just help it absorb that little bit faster, a little bit less likely to wipe off, depending what ink you're using, of course. Okay, and what else do we want to use? Don't want it to be too big. Maybe this narrow one. Par Avion. And we'll just, do we want to use that, or do we want sepia? I think the sepia is going to be too orangey, so I'm going to stick with coffee. Stamping different directions. Cool. I think that one is done. I probably want to edge it with the vintage photo a bit more. So I inked the washi, but I didn't edge. And I think I need to edge specifically this one because it's got more of a sort of distressed vintagey vibe. So let's give it a quick little edge here. Yeah, so I'm keen to check out more of Toni's projects. Both Margarethe of SevenPlaza and Gail Agostinelli have been mentioning her quite a bit lately and has intrigued me. So I've subscribed to her channel and watched a video yesterday. Not this particular project though, it was a different one. And yeah, looking forward to watching some more and getting some more inspiration. It's good to have a variety of inspiration sources. So I don't know how close these are to what Toni or Margarethe did, because yeah, I just can't remember from watching Margarethe's. I can't remember exactly everything that she did or didn't do. So, but it's all about interpreting it in your own style. So it doesn't really matter. It's just the idea. The idea is what it's about. Right, let's put this away so it's not push everything up here. It's kind of, so we got how many done? 5. That's not too bad, is it? Certainly no Gail or Margarethe, but I'm not too unhappy with what we got done. So there's this sweetheart one, which I love. I love all of them actually. This is probably my least favorite, but it was, you know, just starting out, just kind of getting a little feel for it. Interestingly enough, it's also one I did not sand. That's the only one I didn't sand. So I was going to finish, but shall we just see? Oh, that's transferring green from the other washi tape. So maybe we'll take this bit, the other half, just take off that end. So there is that to consider, as transferring of colour from one to another. So now I've got a bit of green on there, which is not ideal. I can barely tell that I've sanded it. That's why I didn't do it originally, because I thought, well, it's not really going to show. Although I do believe it has changed it. And this one, something just slid over on my shelf. That was a bit random because I wasn't touching anything. So I'm going to distress all over with my vintage photo, just the residue. It looks like that tip's green. Wonder if that's just a optical illusion, or whether it's picked up some of that green from the sanding. Oh. So that black stuff that was on there, I'm just going to leave it. I think it just adds to kind of a more grungier, distressed look. Finger, stay on the brush, would you? Whoops. And now I'm just doing all sorts of, because I'm not being careful. Okay, still not my favourite, but for one, it was my first attempt and I was just feeling my way. Two, probably the washi tape, not my favourite, so it's hard to, you know, take something that you're not fond of. In fact, I don't think I've ever used this particular washi tape, and it's old. But at the end of the day, I think it's still usable and I still will use it. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's a little bit grungy, a little bit grimy, and it's just fun. Then there's our B one, which I love. Just think that is super cute. Sorry, I don't know if I'm holding them up close enough. Try and think about that a bit better. And then there's our safety pin one, which that was probably a bit close. Get all up in your face. That one. And then our last one here, the numbers with some postmarks, imperfect stamping, which I just, on this particular one, I love the effect of. It's actually what I was hoping would happen. I was hoping it wasn't going to stamp perfectly, because I think it just looks cool. So there we go. We got 5 done. I'm pretty happy with that. I think my favourite is the B one. I think it's very pretty, and I'm going to love using that in my bee journal whenever I do my bee journal. I don't know, we'll get there. This is going in the bin. Done. It is done. I need to remember to go grab a new one, otherwise I'll take a chink out my nail, reach for it and go, oh, well, I haven't got an emery board. Anyway, thanks for joining me, my friends. It's been a pleasure having you here. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow will be Friday for you guys. I think, what am I doing? Mini ephemera, I think, with small book images. I think that's what I've got planned. If it's something different, don't mind me. I'm just talking through a hole in my head, as the saying goes. Anyway, thanks for being here. Take care, everybody, and I'll catch you again in tomorrow's video, whatever that may bring. See you then. Bye for now.